Problem number 10 gives us a piecewise function, g of x, defined here. And we want to find the integral of g of x, definite integral, from -2 to pi. So whenever you're taking the integral of a piecewise function, you have to break it into the pieces because each function only applies on a certain range of x's. So we have this function, 1 minus x squared, that only applies when x is negative. And cosine x only applies when x is 0 or positive. So the dividing line here is 0. So if we're going to do -2 to pi of g of x, we're going to have to make it like this. We're going to have to do the part that's from -2 to 0. And then we're going to have to add it to the part from 0 to pi. So we have to do that because we have a different function in each of those ranges. So on the -2 to 0 part, we can only use the function that applies on those, which is 1 minus x squared. So we're doing the integral of 1 minus x squared dx. And on the 0 to pi part, we can only use the part of g of x that applies on that, which is cosine of x. So this is what we need to solve. So the antiderivative of 1 minus x squared would be x minus x cubed over 3, using your anti-differentiation power rule. And we're evaluating that from -2 to 0. The other term, the antiderivative of cosine is sine of x, and we're evaluating sine of x from 0 to pi. So these two things we'll add it together will give us our answer. Now let me look at this one first, because sine of pi and sine of 0 are both 0. So if we subtract these away, we're going to get 0. So this whole term disappears because it's just 0. So we just have this term here. And remember that you plug in the top one and then subtract what you get when you plug in the bottom one. Well, if we plug in the top value here, 0, we get 0 because these both have x's in them. So really we're just taking the negative of whatever we get when we plug in -2, because we subtract that away. So when we plug in -2, we would have got -2 minus, -2 cubed is -8 over 3. So one thing you can do is you can distribute this negative. That would get rid of these negatives inside. So really we just get 2 plus -8 over 3. In other words, 2 minus 8 over 3. 2 is 6 over 3, so 6 over 3 minus 8 over 3 would give us -2/3. And that's how we do that integral. Remember, you have to break it up if you have a piecewise function because you can only use one function or the other on specific ranges of x.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Resource Center.